wanted to show you all of the debris in the lathe. See all the metal chips? All of this is from just doing one job. And look over back here. All of that. I mean, it's all over the floor. Let me walk around here. You can see it all up in there. You want your machinery to run good and last a long time, you got to clean it. Every time we finish a job, we clean it. So now that I've finished the job, I've got to clean it out. And to clean it, all of the shavings down here, all of them up here, get swept down. We start at the top. We take a broom and a paintbrush and we sweep everything off of the tool post, the compound, the ways, sweep everything out and get it down inside the pan down here and down here. And then we scoop that out with a small shovel dustpan, throw it in a bucket. Now, most of this, at least on this, is all 1045 steel. And we'll hold on to this in a big barrel that I'll take, when I take scrap loads, I'll take this to the scrap yard. It's got a bunch of plastics, wood, other trash in it. They won't take it. If we do brass, we'll keep it separated out. Stainless steel, we'll keep that separated into another bin. But we will try to get a little bit. This ain't gonna bring much, y'all. It's you know, a couple of bucks at most when we have the barrel full. But it at least brings something back into the shop, and I don't have to worry about it piling up and somebody getting cut with it. But we'll clean everything out. We'll oil the ways down. These are the ways right here. That's the part that the carriage travels on back and forth. So we'll clean all that up. We'll oil it down to make sure everything's working good. We'll make sure that all the gears and everything are oiled. Talking about equipment, the other thing with maintenance is maintaining it. You know, making sure that it's oiled when it's supposed to. Grease, this one actually has a grease cert right here for that gear. So that every day we use it, we grease it, we oil. We've got an oil fill here. We've got an oil fill down here. This handle is an oiler that oils everything in here. There's a reservoir down here. You pull the handle out and push it in, and it pumps oil up, and there's galleries that run under this cover right here all the way around it and pumps oil into the gears and the mechanisms inside of it. So every, I don't know, hour or two that I run, I hit that just to keep oil flowing through it. There's an oil cup here, let's see, that we squirt oil into, and that's, you know, 4 or 5 squirts. There's another one here. Flip the little lid up, put a squirt in it. There's one right there. This one, you have to squirt it and then you have to turn it sideways. I need to take it out and put some tape on it. So we make sure everything's oiled. Newer machines may not have to have this. These older machines do. Like this one here, I don't have to oil it like this. It's in self-enclosed bearings or sealed bearings, so we don't have to worry about that as much. These older machines, you got to oil them. So right now I'm going to stop. I'm going to get all this cleaned out and get all my tools put back up, sweep the floor, and get the shop ready for the next job. So with maintaining equipment, we have to keep these oiled. The older machines, and you need lubricants for the newer machines as well, just different types. So with that in mind, I use a lot of these. A lot of oil cans. These are safer in the workshop because they won't, if I drop them, they're not going to rupture, or they shouldn't. The plastics won't catch on fire if a piece of hot metal gets to them, and if it does, it's really not going to hurt the can. I can get it out real easy, whereas with a plastic bottle, the plastic could end up combusting, and then I've got another issue. What I do in my shop, and I learned this from another shop, is I use multicolor containers. Spindle oil, the oil that I use to lubricate the machines, the drives, the compounds, all that is in cans that look like this. They're either silver or white because it's a very light, a very thin oil. It's a white oil almost. And so I want to make sure that I use a can that's a little lighter colored. Helps me kind of recognize that this is spindle oil. It's not anything else, because if you put the wrong oil in these, it can cause you problems. Just like if you put the wrong oil in your engine, it can eventually cause problems. This can is a darker colored can because this has a different kind of oil in it. This has a cutting oil in it, which is a heavier, thicker oil. So I use blue and darker color cans for that, because I want to make sure that the lubricant, like I said, it's not cutting, it's not going to hurt if I use spindle oil. The only problem is this is so thin that it's not going to stay on your work as well. Thicker oils stay on the work, they kind of cling to it and will help lubricate better. So I use a darker can for the cutting oil, lighter cans for the spindle oils on the moving parts. Just another way to help remember things and help with maintenance around the shop that makes things easier for me. So that's another tip that I use here. So I know there's a glare behind me. There's a reason for that. Another tip I learned in shops, one of the shops I've worked at has very poor lighting. It's an older building. All of the lights in it are incandescent bulbs, and they've got a few old fluorescent bulbs, but they're spaced out far and few between, and you have to have a work lamp on your station to help light your workpiece, otherwise you can't see. In fact, it's so bad that I keep one of these on me. It's just a little pen light, so that I can get a good look at my work. I still keep one here because, again, I want to be able to see what I'm doing. But another shop tip that I've found is lighting. You can never have too much. If you look at my shop, I've got lights all over the place. And I've actually got outlets spaced out in between these. There's a light there, there's a light there, and then there's an outlet here and over here, so I could put another light in between those if I needed to. These are, I don't know if you can see or not, these are old fluorescent fixtures that have been converted to hold LED bulbs. And each one of these bulbs is, I think, well, let me look at a package. Because I actually just put in some new bulbs. These are 1800 lumens. So each one of these bulbs is an 1800 lumens bulb. And if you look at most standard fluorescents, I think, I could be wrong, but I think they're only like 500 lumens or something like that. Somebody's going to correct me, I'm sure. But I know they're not nearly as bright. By having these brighter bulbs in my shop, it gives me a lot of illumination. It lets me see better. And by using the LEDs, for what I run this entire shop, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fixtures in here. And there's 3 to 4 bulbs in each fixture. For what I run this entire light system on for an hour would be the equivalent of 1 fluorescent fixture running for an hour. So I burn a lot less electricity using the LEDs. It's cooler and it gives off better light. So if you're setting up a shop or if you've got a current shop, make sure you've got plenty of light to illuminate your work. It helps with safety, it helps with quality of work, and it just makes things easier for you. So light, see the light, it's always a good thing. I was going to tell you also, things like calipers, files, even things like hammers. Don't go to Lowe's or Home Depot. I mean, you can, but you don't have to. Look at estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, things like that. You will find this stuff for pennies on the dollar, as my friend Nelson likes to say. Pennies on the dollar. If I went and I bought this file, now granted, somebody's bent it, but I don't care for what I need it for. That's a heavy duty file. It's a medium grade. It's not burred out and it's not dead. It's still a good file. I don't know, $10, $15 at Lowe's? I don't know. For a really good heavy file. And this is an older file. It's made in the USA. So, you know, as opposed to Italy or Taiwan or China or wherever. So, I paid $1 for it at a yard sale. These mics or calipers or dividers, whatever you want to call them, I picked them up at a yard sale for $8. And these are good quality. These are actually Starrett. And I didn't even realize Starrett made these. But they're good quality, they're solid, they're not, you know, I can pull on them, there's no play in them. The threading's tight. I mean, it's a good set. And I paid little of nothing for it. So, when you go to get ready for tools, man, don't count out yard sales, flea markets, estate sales, auctions. I find a lot of stuff at auctions. You may have to buy a bulk pallet of it, but you can go through and get what you want, and then you can sell the other to a pawn shop or a flea market or a buddy, you know. Donate it to Goodwill. They always need stuff like that. So, like I said, be smart, be thrifty. You don't have to have the newest, greatest, latest, whatever. If you take your time, you're patient, you spend some time looking, you can find some great stuff, some great buys. So that's everything that came out of the lathe. This is, I don't know, this trash can's probably 3 foot tall or so, but I have to weigh it to find out how much is in there, but it's pretty stout. So here's the lathe. Sorry if I'm making y'all sick, but as you can see, I took my time. I tried to clean it very well. I forgot to mention, I don't know if this is standard with LeBlanc lathes or not, but this catch pan under here, The previous owner put this carpet scrap in here, and it actually works good because it catches a bunch of stuff and you can dump it out. But up under it is this hole, and you can actually put a bucket under it like you saw me do and sweep everything off into it, and it helps with the cleanup as well. So keep your machines clean. They'll last a lot longer. Alright, y'all, so that pretty much wraps up this video. Like I said, I don't know if cleaning this way is efficient for a production shop or even a job shop. I apprenticed with a shop north of me, and we can't clean up the machines after every single job. We just can't. We've got so much work. But we do clean the machines and give them a fairly thorough cleaning at least once a week. If you don't, you end up with just a mound of garbage piled up in the machine, around the machine, and it's dangerous. So we try to clean up as often as we can, but I'm going to try to make it my job, my responsibility here at my shop, to clean up after every job if at all possible. If not, at least once a week I want to clean the machines out. It'll make them last longer. It makes the shop look better. It makes it function better. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Whether it'll be this thorough, I don't know. If I wanted to really get down, I could have brought the shop vac in and gotten in every little nook and crevice. And I do that sometimes, especially with cast iron. If you leave cast iron on the ways, it'll rust and actually causes the ways to grind out and become uneven and wear quicker. So after I do cast iron, I do come in, I sweep everything out, and then I vacuum to try to get all of the debris, the cast iron debris out, just to make my machines last longer. A couple other things. First part of the clean out, I wasn't wearing gloves. Please wear safety equipment. You know, when you operate machines, hearing protection, eye protection. I usually don't wear gloves in a machine shop or in the machine shop, because if this chuck were to grab a piece of material, it can snatch your hand off, your fingers off. It can do some serious damage. So when I'm working with the machines, I don't wear gloves. When I'm cleaning up afterwards, as long as they're de-energized, wear gloves. If you don't, you get cut. So, you know, I knew better. I was in a hurry to try to get things done, and second half of the cleanup, you saw me wearing gloves. So, and the last, I guess, tip I can give you, if you work in a shop or a farm, you probably know this already. I don't wear my shoes that I use out here into my house. I take them off outside, or I have a pair left in here. I walk out to the shop, I change shoes out here, I do whatever I need, and then I change before I go back to the house. One reason, I don't know if you can see it or not, you see the piece of metal embedded right there? And there's a couple of more pieces up here. So if I were to wear these shoes inside my house, that piece of metal could come off anywhere in the house. My kids walk around the house barefoot. My wife does. I do. So one of them could pick it up and get it stuck in their foot, cut their foot open. My dog could get hurt. So I don't wear the shoes that I work in. I don't wear them in the house. I probably got that more from growing up, because farming and stuff like that, working in the fields, getting covered in mud, we didn't wear our work boots in the house. You took them off on the porch, and that's where they stayed. So I kind of keep doing that, but now that I'm working in a machine shop, I do it even more because of this reason. So if you're going to wear your work shoes into your house, final tip, check them real good before you go in. You don't want to cause your loved ones to get injured because they found something that was tracked in with your boots. Appreciate y'all for following along. It's kind of hopefully it's a helpful video. But I needed to clean this machine out anyway, and I wanted to talk about some of the tools that I was using and why I was using them. So it's kind of a hodgepodge video, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I appreciate you following along, commenting, subscribing. If you would, spread the word. Let them know we've got some new subscribers, and I'm glad to have you. I hope you enjoy the content and the ride. We've got some great things coming up. Hopefully, in the next 2 weeks, we're going on a road trip to Louisiana to pick up a vehicle. And then we're going to show a long-term vehicle or project that we're going to work on. And hopefully I'll bring you up to date on that in the next couple of weeks, and I'll try to take you with us when we go to Louisiana. For me, it's been another great day here in paradise. I hope you're having one. God bless. I'll see you next time.